Good morning everyone. Myself Indranil Mondol, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department. Today I am going to present an important lecture on creep related to materials engineering. Let's start the session.
Creep. Materials are often placed in service at elevated temperatures and exposed to static mechanical stresses, for example, turbine rotors in jet engines and steam generators that experience centrifugal stresses and high pressure steam lines. Deformation under such circumstances is termed as creep. It is defined as the time dependent and permanent deformation of materials when subjected to a constant load or stress. Creep is normally an undesirable phenomena and is often the limiting factor in the lifetime of a part. It is observed in all materials types. For metals it becomes important only for temperatures greater than that of 0.4 Tm. Tm is the absolute melting temperature. At temperature above 0.4 multiply with absolute melting temperature, permanent deformation is a function of time too. This behavior is creep. Materials are often placed under steady loads for longer periods of time. Without increase in load, materials undergoes deformation. Creep is predominant at higher temperature, that is an elevated temperature effect. Creep is a time dependent and permanent deformation of materials when subjected to a constant load at a high temperature over a longer periods, that is greater than 0.4 multiply with absolute melting temperature, that is T suffix m. What are the various stages of creeps? This is a symmetric representation of the typical constant load creep behavior of metals. Upon application of the load, there is an instantaneous deformation as indicated in this figure, which is mostly elastic. The resulting creep curve consists of three regions, each of which has its own distinctive strain time feature. This is creep strain versus time graph. Primary or transient creep occurs first. This is by a continuously decreasing creep rate, that is, the slope of the curve diminishes with time. This suggests that the material is experiencing an increase in creep. Resistance or strain hardening deformation becomes more difficult as the material is strained. This is secondary creep, sometimes termed steady state creep. The rate is constant, that is, the plot becomes linear. This is often the stage of creep that is of the longest duration. The constancy of creep rate is explained on the basis of a balance between the competing processes of strain hardening and recovery. Recovery being the process whereby a material becomes softer and retains its ability to experience deformation. Finally, for tertiary creep, there is an acceleration of the rate and ultimate failure. This failure is frequently termed rupture and results from microstructural and or metallurgical changes, for example, grain boundary separation and the formation of internal cracks, cavities and voids. Also, for tensile loads, a neck may form at some point within the deformation region. These all lead to a decrease in the effective cross-sectional area and an increase in strain rate. The most important parameter from this creep test is the slope of the secondary portion of the creep curve, that is del epsilon by del t, that is often called the minimum or steady state creep rate, epsilon suffix s. It is the engineering design parameter that is considered for long life applications such as a nuclear power plant component that is scheduled to operate for several decades and when failure or too much strain is not an option. On the other hand, for many relatively short-lived creep situations, for example turbine blades in military aircraft and rocket motor nozzles, time to rupture or the rupture lifetime T suffix r is the dominant design consideration. It is also indicated in this figure. Of course, for its determination, creep tests must be conducted to the point of failure. These are termed creep rupture tests. Thus, a knowledge of these creep characteristics of a material allows the design engineer to ascertain its suitability for a specific application. I have told earlier there are stages of creep: primary or transient creep, slope of strain versus time decreases with time, that is work hardening. Secondary or steady state creep, rate of straining constant, work hardening and recovery. Tertiary creep, that is rapidly accelerating strain rate up to failure, and formation of internal cracks, voids, grain boundary, separation, necking and etc. These are the main stages of creep. Parameters of creep behavior. Secondary or steady state creep, that contains longest duration and long life applications. Creep rate is equal to del epsilon by del t. Time to rupture, that is rupture lifetime, that I have told earlier, T suffix r. Stress and temperature effects. With increasing stress of or temperature, you see this creep strain versus time graph. This for T1 or sigma 1, T2 or sigma 2, and T3 or sigma 3. T1, T2 and T3 are the temperatures, and sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3 are the stresses. And this graph is for temperature less than melting point temperature, multiplied with 0.4. So with increasing stress or temperature, the instantaneous strain increases, the steady state creep rate increases, and the time to rupture also decreases. Both temperature and the level of applied stress influence the creep characteristics. At a temperature subsequently below 0.4 Tm and after the initial deformation, the strain is virtually independent of time. With either increasing stress or temperature, the following will be noted, that is, the instantaneous strain at the time of stress application increases, that I have told, the steady state creep rate is also increased, and the time to rupture is diminished. This is also stress versus steady state creep rate graph. This is for 649 degrees Celsius, this is for 538 degrees Celsius, and this is for 427 degrees Celsius, and this is stress. So stress or temperature dependence of the steady state creep rate can be illustrated by this figure. Mechanisms of creep. Different mechanisms act in different materials and under different loading and temperature conditions. Dislocation glide, dislocation creep, diffusion creep, and grain boundary sliding. This is for grain boundary diffusion, this is for dislocation glide and climb. Let's discuss one by one. Dislocation glide. It involves dislocations moving along slip planes and overcoming barriers by thermal activation. This mechanism occurs at high stress levels. Dislocation creep. It involves the movement of dislocations which overcome barriers by thermally assisted mechanisms involving the diffusion of vacancies or interstitials. Diffusion creep. It involves the flow of vacancies and interstitials through a crystal under the influence of applied stress. This mechanism occurs at high temperatures and low stress levels. And last, grain boundary sliding mechanism. It involves the sliding of grains past each other. These are all mechanisms of creep. Let's discuss what are the main factors that affect creep. Creep is much more affected by grain size, microstructure, and previous strain history, that is for cold work, etc., and creep is also extremely structure sensitive. The major factor in creep is grain size. Usually coarse grained materials exhibit better creep resistance than fine grained ones. since the latter have a great amount of grain boundary materials, and grain boundaries behave as a quasi-viscous material with a high tendency to flow at elevated temperatures. This is why that single crystals show a higher creep resistance than polycrystalline materials. For example, tungsten filaments of electrical bulbs are made of single crystals, and that is why they can withstand very high temperatures. The thermal stability of the microstructure of alloys and its resistance to oxidation at high temperatures is another important factor. An LED specimen, for having greater thermal stabilities, is far superior in its creep resistance to a quenched steel for its poor thermal stability. It is reported that prior cold working has also a strong effect on creep, which is accelerated in some metals during recrystallization following cold work. This accelerated creep is followed by a period of relatively slow creep in the recrystallized metal. Pure metals with high melting points and a compact atomic structure generally exhibit good creep resistance at high temperatures. By alloying the pure metals with suitable elements, the creep resistance can be increased considerably. The manufacturing method process of a steel also influences its creep resistance. From the data available so far, the electric arc steel shows better creep resistance than that produced by the open heart process, whereas induction furnace steel shows better results and those shown by electric arc furnace. So creep can be defined as the slow and progressive deformation of a material with time under a constant stress at temperatures approximately above 0.4 Tm, that is melting point of the metal or alloy in degrees Kelvin. Creep strength of a material is the highest stress that the material can withstand for a specified length of time without exceeding the specified deformation at a given temperature. From this video lecture you will get knowledge about creep. If you want more videos, please stay connected with me. If you like this video, please share and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.